Okay, let's talk about something that feels huge, complicated, and honestly, a little scary for a lot of people: buying a home. But what if I told you it doesn't have to be that way? We're going to take that big, overwhelming process and turn it into a clear, simple roadmap that you can follow with total confidence. Ready? Let's build your path to homeownership.
So, does the very thought of mortgages, credit scores, and closing costs just make your head spin? Do you find yourself scrolling through homes online, just dreaming, but never actually taking that next step? Yeah, if that's you, you are not alone. That feeling of being totally stuck, it's incredibly common.
And that feeling of confusion? It is the single biggest thing that stops people from buying a home. It really is. When you don't get the process, you hesitate, you second-guess everything, you wait for some perfect time that, let's be honest, never really shows up. But here's the key. Understanding the roadmap. That changes the entire game. Knowledge turns that anxiety into real, actual empowerment.
Look at this. This is where most people start, over on the left. Just dreaming, browsing Zillow, and honestly feeling pretty lost. But smart, successful homebuyers, they start over here, on the right. They don't start with houses, they start with a plan. They build a solid, strategic foundation before they even think about an open house. And that is exactly what we're going to do right now.
I want you to think of this whole process like a maze. When you're inside, it just seems so complicated, right? Dead ends everywhere, confusing turns. But what you really need is a map. You need a bird's eye view that shows you the clear path from the start all the way to the finish. And here is the best news of all. That map, it isn't some ancient, complicated scroll with 100 different directions. The entire path forward is made up of just 7. 7 clear, totally manageable steps. And here it is. This is your entire journey on one slide. It all kicks off with education and preparation, which leads right into getting pre-approved. And look, only then do you start the fun part, the home search, making an offer, and going under contract. And the grand finale, of course, is closing day. See how each one builds on the last? Let's break it down. Okay, let's really focus on these first 3 steps, because this is the foundation. And I cannot stress this enough. The most important work you will do when buying a home happens before you ever start looking at properties online. You get this part right, and I promise you, everything else gets so much easier. Step 1 is education, which, hey, is exactly what you're doing right now. It's all about learning the language, getting your head around mortgages, credit, and all the costs. This little investment of time up front, it's going to save you from making some very, very expensive mistakes later on. All that new knowledge flows right into step 2, preparation. This is where the rubber meets the road. It's where learning becomes doing. You'll actually look at your credit, maybe make a plan to bump it up a bit. You'll get all your income docs together, and you'll build a real, concrete savings plan. And all that prep work leads to this. This is the game-changing moment, pre-approval. Now, this isn't some guess from an online calculator. No, this is a lender actually reviewing your finances and giving you a formal letter that says, yes, we will lend you this much money. This is the step where you find out your true buying power. And once you have that pre-approval letter in your hand, everything shifts. You're not just a dreamer anymore. You're not hoping you can afford a house. You are shopping with the confidence of a serious buyer. And trust me, sellers take you seriously. You know your budget, and now you can hunt strategically. All right, so your foundation is rock solid. Now we get to move into the part that everybody gets excited about, right? Finding the house and making a deal. So step 4, the home search, is where your pre-approval lets you hunt with real purpose. And once you find the one, you move on to step 5, making an offer. And please, remember this, a winning offer is a strategy. It is so much more than just the price you're willing to pay. Okay, let's really unpack this because it's crucial. Of course, there's the price, but look at all these other levers you can pull. Contingencies, for example. Those are just your safety nets. They're your escape hatches that let you back out if something's wrong, like a bad inspection. Sometimes, just being flexible on the closing date can make your offer way more attractive than someone else's with a slightly higher price. It's all part of the strategy. Okay, deep breath. Your offer was accepted. Yes! This brings us to the final, technical phase of the journey. This is where your plan gets executed, step by step, to get you all the way to that finish line. This is step 6, what we call the under contract period. It usually takes about 30 to 45 days, and it's not just sitting around waiting. A lot is happening behind the scenes. You've got the home inspection to check the house itself, the appraisal where the bank confirms the home's value,
The lender does their final deep dive review of your finances, and the title company makes sure the house can be sold to you free and clear.
And I need you to listen to this very, very carefully. This is probably the most critical piece of advice for that whole under contract period. Do not, I repeat, do not make any big financial changes. Don't go buy a new car, don't open new credit cards, don't change jobs. Your lender does one last final check right before closing, and a big change could literally blow up your entire loan at the last second.
And all of that leads to the moment it all pays off. Step 7, closing day. You're going to sign what feels like a mountain of paperwork, you'll wire your funds, and then you get the keys. That's it. All that work, all that preparation, it all comes down to this single amazing moment. You are officially a homeowner.
So we've walked through the entire roadmap, from the very beginning to the very end. But it is so important to remember you do not walk this path alone. You have an entire team of professionals whose job it is to guide you.
This is your A-team. Your lender handles all the money stuff. Your realtor is your strategic guide, and they do so much more than just open doors. Their real value is in negotiation and getting you through the contract phase. The title company makes sure the ownership is clean. The home inspector is your safety net, and right there in the middle of it all, that's you, the CEO, the ultimate decision maker, empowered by this amazing team.
If there is just one idea I want you to walk away with from all of this, let it be this one right here. Prepared buyers move differently. It's not about having more money, it's about having more knowledge and having a better strategy.
I mean, just look at the difference. The prepared buyer, they operate from a place of confidence, clarity, and control. They know what's coming next. But the unprepared buyer, they're just stuck reacting to everything, feeling anxious, confused, and totally overwhelmed. By following the roadmap we just laid out, you are choosing to be on the left side of this chart. You're choosing to be in control.
Following this process literally transforms you from a nervous window shopper into a confident, prepared buyer who is in the driver's seat of their own journey. The path is clear, the steps are manageable, and the outcome is absolutely achievable. So, really, the only question left is, are you ready?